And to hear them claim in their defense that I don't have any right to privacy is disgusting. They have made my wife's life an absolute misery, my lord.
She actually went, hey, ho! Look at this, there they are dancing. Does this seem like a woman whose life is total misery? Doesn't to me, does it you?
You know that specific kind of silence that happens right before a bar fight? That heavy static charged air where everyone knows something is about to snap. That was London's High Court this week. Only, instead of broken bottles, we had barristers and wigs. And instead of a brawl, we had the Duke of Sussex, California's most famous privacy advocate, who also has a Netflix deal, a Spotify deal, and a best-selling memoir trying to convince everyone that he's the victim here.
Prince Harry's most shocking moments in the dock, and from his witness statement today, you won't get that anywhere else. And analysis from Tom Sykes of the Royalist Substack, who was in the High Court today for every word of the bombshell evidence.
If you've been scrolling Twitter, sorry X, you've probably seen the headlines. It's dramatic. It fits the narrative perfectly. Now, to be fair, most of that didn't actually happen. His lawyers didn't quit. The case hasn't collapsed. But what did happen?
And who has violated Harry's privacy more? Is it the person who shared, the palace official who shared a little bit about the memory of his mother, or Harry telling us that he had to rub cream on his penis before his brother's wedding because it was frostbitten? So I don't think anybody's violated Harry's privacy more than Harry.
Well, let's just say Harry's courtroom performance was very hairy. We are watching one of the weirdest, highest stakes privacy battles in modern history. A prince who told the entire world about his frostbitten royal member in his autobiography is now suing newspapers for invading his privacy. You genuinely cannot make this up. This is a massive multi-claimant lawsuit involving Sir Elton John, Sadie Frost, and Doreen Lawrence, all alleging that Associated Newspapers, the publisher of the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday, basically ran an intelligence operation on them for 20 years.
And these are the type of images that we now see put out by the couple themselves. So of course, Brittany, I absolutely fundamentally agree with you that this case is ludicrous. It is about personal revenge. He wants newspapers to be shut down. They're already dying. It's going to happen anyway, Harry. And he wants journalists who he dislikes to go to jail.
We're talking allegations of bugging cars, tapping landlines, buying police records, the kind of stuff that usually requires a warrant or at least a villain in a trench coat. The publisher. They deny every single word of it. They say, it's fiction. They call it preposterous smears. So, let's cut through the noise. Let's look at what actually went down in court. Because whether you love Harry or think he's lost the plot entirely, this trial is genuinely fascinating.
I'm going to give Harry a message. This fight of your life, what did he say? Slaying the dragon slayer. Harry, you will not win this. You cannot win this. These newspapers, these media companies that you so despise will still be prospering long after you've gone, long after I've gone. So you can't win this war. It's foolish.
Let's start with the rumor that nearly broke the internet. The 9-week trial began on January 19th, 2026. Tension is high. Then, suddenly, social media accounts start blowing up. The story, Prince Harry's legal team, led by the heavy-hitting David Shearborn, had supposedly stormed out of the courtroom in the middle of proceedings. The narrative was immediate. Harry is so difficult, so impossible to work with, that even the guy who represented Johnny Depp just walked off the job. Here's the reality. Nobody quit. Nobody stormed out. David Shearborn remains Harry's lead barrister. The trial is proceeding exactly as scheduled. There is no verified reporting of any dramatic walkout or resignation. So that rumor complete nonsense.
He seemed uneasy from the moment he arrived. He didn't really settle properly in the witness box, and he came in right from the off. Harry was on the defensive and very bristly and very abrasive, and the judge intervened 3 times to try and calm him down.
But here's the delicious irony. Harry is literally in court suing newspapers for spreading misinformation about while the internet is spreading misinformation about his lawsuit about misinformation. It's like Inception but with tabloids. The man cannot catch a break. Or maybe, and hear me out, when you spend years telling everyone how terrible the media is, the media isn't exactly going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Funny how that works.
Tell us that you were aware of some, but not all, of the 14 articles that you complain of in these proceedings at the time they were published.
Yes.
You did not complain, and no complaint was made on your behalf.
Not that I am aware of.
That is because you believed at the time that the articles were published, insofar as you saw them, that the information they contained came from legitimate sources.
To a certain extent, but I would not have been able to complain about them anyway because of the institution I was in. It would have been very difficult. Never complain and never explain.
Okay, let's get into the meat of this. Why is our favourite Montecito resident back in rainy London? If you listen to the Defence Associated newspapers, this whole thing is a waste of everyone's time. Their lead barrister, Anthony White, KC, has called the claims threadbare. He said, "This is in reality little more than guesswork. It involves jumping to conclusions based on insufficient evidence." Ouch. They aren't just saying we didn't do it, though. They do say that vehemently and categorically. They also argued that even if they did do it, it was too late to sue. This was the limitation period. Argument. In the UK, you generally have 6 years to sue for privacy breaches. The events Harry and Elton John are talking about, some of them are from 1993, 2005, 2011. The defense's argument was essentially, you guys had unlimited resources and access to the best lawyers on planet Earth. Why are you only suing now? It's a fair question, isn't it? Harry wasn't exactly without means all those years. But back in November 2023, Justice Nicholan rejected Ill's attempt to have the claims thrown out. In a 95-page judgment, he ruled that ANL failed to deliver a knockout blow. The case would proceed to full trial.
I was never suspicious of Chelsea in relation to stories like this, but I was of her friend. If I saw this story at the time, I would have been very frustrated and angry. I would have questioned how Associated found out this information, but at the same time, I would have felt like I had to accept this as the reality of my life. This sort of intrusion was terrifying for Chelsea. It made her feel like she was being hunted and the press had caught her. And it was terrifying for me too, because there was nothing I could do to stop it. And now, she was in my world. She was shaken, and I was really paranoid about trying to protect our privacy, as the article says. Their behaviour and treatment of Chelsea was not normal. I was really worried something bad was going to happen.
So, here we are. Now, Harry's team is telling a much darker story. They allege phone hacking, live tapping of landlines, private investigators placing listening devices inside cars, medical records obtained by deception, and corrupt payments to police officers. If true, that's genuinely horrifying. Harry's specific witness statement talks about years of paranoia. He describes relationships falling apart because the press knew things that only one other person should have known. He assumed his friends were betraying him. He cut people off. He isolated himself. He told the court he felt paranoid beyond belief. In his written statement, he said, "I felt like my every move, thought, or feeling was being tracked and monitored just for the Mail to make money out of it."
A campaign, an obsession of having every aspect of my life under surveillance so they could get the run on their competitors and drive me paranoid beyond belief, isolating me and probably wanting to drive me to drugs and drinking to sell more of their papers.
Now, look, I'll be honest, that does sound awful. If someone was genuinely bugging my car, I'd be paranoid, too. But also, Harry mate, you then went on to tell Oprah everything. You wrote a book. You did a Netflix series. You've been on more podcasts than Joe Rogan. At some point, the leave me alone message gets a little muddled when you keep scheduling interviews.
Prince Harry is trying to still monetize from the very industry that he's suing. He relies on the mainstream media for currency.
Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the stern warning. This was the moment the tabloids were waiting for, and honestly, they kind of got what they wanted. Harry took the witness stand on January 21st, 2026, testifying for approximately 2.5 hours. The cross-examination was intense. The defense lawyer, Anthony White Kasek, was picking apart Harry's claims, suggesting the information came from Harry's own social circle rather than illegal sources. And Harry did what Harry does. He started to answer, And then he kept answering. And then he pivoted to talking about the general state of the British media and the distress it caused his wife, Meghan. He was emotional. His voice cracked. He said the press coverage made Meghan's life an absolute misery. Look, it was a human moment. You could see the genuine frustration. But here's the thing about courtrooms. They're not therapy sessions. They're not Oprah interviews. The judge doesn't hand you tissues and say, "Tell me more about your feelings." Judge Nicolin intervened twice and he didn't coddle him. He told Harry, "You are doing exactly what lots of litigants do. Your role is simply to answer the questions." Translation: Your Royal Highness, please stop giving speeches and just answer yes or no. The media painted this as a slap down, a humiliation. Was it? Honestly, judges tell witnesses to focus all the time. It's not that unusual.
He was asked questions, and rather than actually specifically answer them, he kept saying, it's disgusting what they did to us. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. And in the end, the judge said, look, it's not your job to emote. It's not your job to tell us here on the stand. It's not your job to tell us whether you think this behaviour is disgusting or not. It is your job to specifically answer the questions you are asked.
But here's the thing. Harry has spent years saying he wants to be treated like everyone else. He's not a working royal anymore. He's just a regular guy from California. While regular guys get told to shut up by judges when they ramble. Welcome to equality, sir. Be careful what you wish for. If you're the defense, your job is to make Harry look like the boy who cried tabloid. And they're doing that with surgical precision. Anthony White, Casey, said it outright. At all material times, the Duke of Sussex's social circle was known to be a good source of leaks. Translation: We didn't need to hack you. Your friends did it for free.